WXP is our unique XP point that can be used as credit to purchase merchandise on our platform. You can earn WXP by participating in activities such as quests, events, and tournaments on the platform. You can check your task by clicking on your Tasks tab to complete the task and claim a reward. You can check your WXP by clicking on your profile picture at the top right corner. WXP can be used to purchase items on our marketplace at w3gg.io/marketplace. More items will be available in the future. That's not all. Stay tuned for more exciting updates in the future.
All right. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all our VGG, Legends of Illumia, and KDArena Raiders. How are you? And I hope you're good. I hope you're okay. And welcome to our Discord raid with KDArena. So, guys, I hope you are ready to raid with us. And if you are actually also community, you can also connect with us, and we can actually raid your community as well. Because actually today and tonight it will be a special night because we are with one of the leaders of the game Legends of Illumia. I am here with George. Hello, George. How are you holding up at the moment?
Hello, I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
Oh, great. Yeah, actually, I'm good as well. I'm quite excited for this event because actually there's a lot of people here in my place, here in the Philippines, that is quite a lot fun of the game Legends of Illumia. Actually, there are a lot of people who are asking about the game, and I'm pretty sure that they are ready to have a one-on-one AMA with you as well, George. So I hope you're ready for a raid, because I'm pretty sure that KDArena is ready as well. And with the community here in YouTube and with Discord, with the Twitter space of VGG, they are ready to welcome you and get to know more about the game of Illumia. And of course, they want to know how to play and what is the fastest way for them to level up and what is the best way for them to earn as well. As we all know that here at VGG, we earn, we learn, we earn, then we play, then we earn. Sorry. Okay, so anyways, before we start, of course, I just want to shout out to everyone who is supporting VG. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for today. Thank you for George for becoming our speaker, for our special speaker for today. So I hope you will learn more. You can learn from us. You can learn from George, and of course, you can earn with us. So, anyways, I'm not gonna talk anymore. As of course, we want to know more about George because today is George's night, right? So, anyways, George, please introduce yourself and your team as well. Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, fantastic to be here and happy to start answering all the questions that people may have. Myself, my name is George. I go by George in the Meadow on all of my socials, doing lots of social things. I'm here as the spokesperson for Illumia. I first played this game, I want to say 14 months ago was the first build I ever got to play of this game. And I've played it as it's developed and gone along through. The team itself that are building it are a team that's based out of Bangkok in Thailand. So it's an Asia-based team. They've been specializing in building MMORPGs for the better part of 10 years now, which I think is one of the main edges, because after you've built MMORPGs for 10 years, when you then enter a space like Web3 and say you're going to bring them an MMORPG, firstly, you can give a realistic timeline of when this MMO is going to be ready, unlike some of the people that are like, oh yeah, we're going to build you an MMO in a year, and you're a bit dubious of that timeline. But then there is the other factors of they've had 10 years of working within this genre already. So a lot of the systems and the problems that new developers that would move into the genre might face, they've tackled already because they've been building this genre for over 10 years. So a lot of normal problems that anyone building games in this genre of this scale might face are not the issues that the team are going to be facing, because it's what they've been doing for the better part of a decade. So a lot of the stuff that I've personally faced that has been like bugs or things like that is more visual or UI. So I've not really found really big game-breaking things that could be going wrong. I've obviously played loads of games within Web3. I think I'm over 200 Web3 games, close to 300 now. And I've played MMOs where even just the basic act of walking down the street of the MMO was broken and I was falling through the floor. So at least with the stage and the state that these guys have got their first beta in for people to try is already at a decent enough quality. They've had experience as well, not only as building MMOs within their own studio and things like that. They were obviously part of studios previously. And a lot of the devs that are building out this game are ex-Gameloft devs as well. So I think that's one of the main things that was nice, or is nice still, after a year and a bit of playing this, is that this game is already, it's in a beta. Obviously all the features aren't here, but it's in quite a clean quality of what the beta is. So it's been good. They're doing a lot of good work, and there's definitely a strong MMO team behind it.
Wow, that's a really interesting story. But can we ask, like, what is your brief explanation to the goals and mission of Legends of Lumia in general?
Okay, so here I go with trying to make a brief explanation of what the gameplay is and what the loop is and what you're meant to be doing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I always end up going off on a tangent if I try and answer these type of questions. But the base level, if you're thinking to the simplest possible game loop, it is a dungeon crawler. So
Right.
you're thinking along the same sort of lines as Path of Exile, Diablo. But outside of that is where I think the unique will come. Right now in the beta build, most of the game loop that is available within this slice is for the dungeon crawling part itself, the action. But as you can see on the screen at the moment, we're in the hub town. Obviously, most places have hub towns that are dungeon crawlers. But I think these are what's going to add to the lulls and the flows of the action of going into the dungeon. Then you come out here and there's multiple different shops already available within this beta that you can resupply, restock, sell some of the items you got from the dungeon, use the keys that you're picking up as well. Like, we could go into the tavern here and pick up some food from this lovely lady to take in with us to the next dungeon. So whilst dungeon is currently the main focus of this part of the game experience that people have, there is other stuff to be getting on with outside of it that kind of gives you the breather that you wouldn't have if you were just running a dungeon after a dungeon after a dungeon after a dungeon. That would make it constantly be set to like 11. You need to be going up and down, up and down. Otherwise, you're never going to have the more relaxing, slower feelings that is going to make dungeons more exciting. Say when you get to one of the bosses, if you're onto like your 9th dungeon and you've done nothing except go dungeon, 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 it's going to lose its appeal. So I think a lot of what they're building outside of this blue door, which leads you to the various dungeons, a lot of the stuff you can see out here and what is planned to happen outside of the dungeon is really going to be the selling point, in my opinion, because it's going to make it feel more like a world you're living in and you're preparing for and you're doing things to go into these dungeons, rather than some of the other dungeon crawlers. Basically, here's a line of doors, walk through a door, crawl the dungeon, congratulations, next dungeon with you, go through the next door, yep, just keep going. So I think that's one of the selling points of this. There is parts where you can just hang out and chill. Like over here, these are all players as well. They've all got very impressive armor on. I look pretty pathetic against these ones, but these are all actual players. So these are 6-7 players waiting in the hub at the moment that have obviously been going through and leveling up to get better gear and increase the power of the champions.
Right. Actually, when I see Legends of Illumia, I think one of its selling points as well is the interface, because I think with the Web3 development, B2E games is not that easy to build with a complete or perfect interface. Because actually with the Legends of Illumia, I think it reminds me of the game of the Kingdom of Hearts when we play it during my time. During when I was young, actually, we were playing the Kingdom of Hearts with our PSP, right? So I think this would be a great edge as well. But of course, speaking about edge, George, I want to ask you, like, of course, Web3 is Web3. There's a lot of play to earn games, and there's a lot of MMORPG games. I think we would also love to know what is the main features that Legends of Illumia have that other games doesn't have. So what does make you different from other games as well?
What makes it different, speaking in terms of Web3 capabilities and that sort of stuff, I'll speak on what is the most prized thing to myself. Some of you bigger brains out there that are all about tokenomics and how certain things works in the in and out, you might disagree with me, but at heart, I'm mainly a gamer before I am a crypto enthusiast. And the main thing that I like is each one of these characters that we're looking at, so there's 6 of them in front of me. Currently, there's 2 different classes of the warrior and the mage, but each one of these is going to have different abilities. So if we look at the bottom of my screen, this is fantastic. I love that we can see the game while I explain. This is making this way easier. So if we look at the bottom of the screen, we've got ability 1, which is your bog standard basic auto attack. Yeah. So everyone has got their own auto attacks. Common, obviously going to be what it is. But then each NFT character has its own unique abilities. So if we're looking on my 2, 3, and 4, I've got my 3 abilities that are unique to my NFT. While these abilities are common throughout all of the mage class, you aren't always going to have a mage that has the same abilities. So while the NFTs are the characters, each NFT then will have unique data on it to say what the abilities are. So say like you go into a dungeon and you're playing as a mage and you'll think you're the best mage out there, but then you see this other mage that is just absolutely out DPSing you. He's got worse gear, all whatever. But it turns out he's got a different 3 spells than you do. You can then go out, look for the NFT that is going to have those similar spells as well. And once you've played more of these characters and more of the things that are out there, you'll really get an idea of which spells work well for your play style. And then you can tailor that by looking for an NFT champion that has the specific spells you like. So say you find spells across 3 different mages that you like. You then go out, you look for the mage that has all 3 of those spells on one mage. And then you've got all the spells you want within that one NFT. And that's one of the main things that I like as a unique selling point. And it's something that seems to be rearing its head a lot in Web3 gaming, is kind of like uniqueness to an asset within a game world that's drawing from other stuff. So not everything is the same. Whereas like if you've got all mages are the same, every single one of them has 4 things, every warrior is the same, every single one of them has the same 4 things. That's woefully boring, and there's no min-maxing you can really be doing there, because you're like, okay, this mage is mage, all the same. This warrior is warrior, all the same. But the choice that's in there and the way that you can really like hone your play style around what abilities your different mage or your fighter has compared to any other fighter and mage is one of the main things that I think really does draw it apart. Some of the other stuff that is in there as well is, it's getting common now within the space in general, but Illumia is one of the first ones I saw that was doing it, is your NFT is leveling up. So right now, the one I've actually logged in with is a puny level 1. Didn't realize that. I would have gone on one that wasn't level 1 so I could look more impressive. But the one I'm on right now is level 1. But say in here we've got Martin from Trent. He is level 41, that looks like to me. His NFT will also represent that it is a level 41 NFT. So if you've been putting time in to grind this out and get your characters higher level, that will be reflected in the information that someone that may want to purchase it off of you will see. They'll be like, oh, great, I wanted a mage, I don't want to start at level 1. This guy's already put it to 60 and it has the abilities I want. That's something extra that is in there. The other one that I think is going to be a unique part is to do with the weapons and the crafting of weapons, and then the exchange of those weapons between people, and the ways they're planning to implement this, whether it's through in-game trading or open marketplace trading. So I think having that sort of uniqueness as well is something that like MMOs in the space should do. If they're not doing it, I have no answer as to why you wouldn't, because that's why MMOs always seem like the perfect fit for Web3, right? Like you were in Warcraft, your friend had a shield you wanted, he sold it to you for gold, or you found a decent drop in a raid, but you don't use it, so you threw it in the auction house and sold it that way. So I think any MMO that isn't looking at this as a way of trading the items you find from these raids for the ultra rares is missing a trick. And the fact that we're doing it here at Illumia, I think definitely one of the other big selling points. But NFT uniqueness, definitely the major one that draws me in.
All right. Wow. But George, can I ask you, because we have actually a lot of comment on YouTube, and they're actually telling me that you have a nice armor. What level are you in now at the moment in the game?
I don't think they're talking about my armor. They're probably talking about the armor of the guy standing over here in front of me.
No.
I'm level 1.
No, a while ago, there was no guy standing there. And I think some of these people in your gameplay is the ones watching our YouTube at the moment. I think they're the one.
No, mine is nothing. This is a fresh character, actually. I didn't think this character was going to be fresh, but got reset at some point, which is understandable. But that's only happening to me. I don't think that happens to other people. It was specifically a me issue. So it's not other people getting set back to 1. It's
right.
me.
Right. But I think some of them are watching now, because as you can see, they're dancing on your background.
Yeah. I think that's a great thing as well. Look, we've got our little. What should we do? Let's do some crying. Oh no, I'm so sad that I'm level 1. I think I can.
Oh wow! So you can do some actions there.
But, there we go.
Can you, while we are actually exploring it, can you actually tell us the gameplay of the Legends of Illumia? Because I'm pretty sure that we have huge viewers already. I think with Discord, there's a lot of people already at KDArena, and I think they are waiting for the whitelist. So, can you tell me more about the gameplay, or tell us about the gameplay?
What we can do for the gameplay is I can show you the gameplay. I don't know who's my party leader. I think it's Simon. Let me go into dungeon plots. We'll get some of these to come into the dungeon with me, because I'm in a group with 4 others.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
The easiest way to see to describe the gameplay is just to see it. So here's the
Right.
portal you get. Right now, this message can be a bit confusing. It looks like there's only one dungeon because of this here. It's more that there's only one dungeon available to me. Okay, so we'll later on, after I've shown some of this gameplay, we can talk about what else is out there. But we do know that some people do get thrown off. They only see one dungeon. They're like, oh, there's only one dungeon. No, it's how many dungeons are currently available to you. Because for anything that isn't this lovely forest, kind of serene, kind of pretty dungeon, you have to have a key to enter. And as I'm playing on my level 1, I don't have a key, so we're just going in the forest.
Yeah. Actually, you're with the streamers here as well. My KOLs are actually playing with you at the moment.
Awesome, good to know. Because I know Simon and Machin, but I didn't know who the other two were. But yeah, let's follow these. So if anyone was gameplay is, this is what you get to see. You run. The app is in the bottom right. The idea is you're going to go through this dungeon, collecting all of the crystals you can and everything you find, the loot, and then you're going to find the way out. And once you find the way out, that's how you get to keep stuff. Until you manage to exit, you don't get to keep stuff.
So that's how you level
up.
Whatever
this is. Yeah. We're chasing this snake down. I'm not doing very well, to be honest. It looks like everyone's killing it before I get to it.
Right. How is it hard to level up in the game?
It depends on how you're playing, and like as we mentioned, the 1 second, is my stream lagging so I can close a few windows?
Yeah, I think so. I think the storm.
I've got League of Legends playing in the background. Sorry, that League of Legends still open behind it. No wonder.
That's why.
It should be a bit better now. Oh, we're running off this way. So it can be hard to level if you say you get a mage that has 2 out of 3 healing spells and things like that. Then it could be a bit difficult for you to level because you're healing through the dungeon. So I can imagine people might get some issues there. Apart from that, if you're trying to level by yourself, it can be very tough. It can be really tricky to level by yourself.
Yeah, I think it's like a game. It's like in the Warcraft, right? In Dota.
Yes. Yeah.
It's good that you have allies so that you can steal a kill.
Yeah, so I can get the last hit to get it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. That's
exactly, man. I know that feeling.
1 second. Okay, so open up the screen. There we go. Let me bring back the stream. Okay. So I lost all my friends. Where did my friends go? Oh, okay, they're over here, guys. So yeah, one of the hardest parts is going to be finding people to run with, because like now I can do a lot of damage because I've got my 2 and 4 spell that do damage. But if we didn't have Marchin in front of me, I would be losing my health so quickly because I'm such a squidgy little mage. So it's kind of something that, again, there is the opportunity to do solo play, which I do like. You can get through these dungeons alone. It just takes longer. So the opportunity to be a lone wolf and a solo player is there. But unfortunately, it is just common in any MMORPG that doing dungeons is a activity that you do with lots of people at once. It's very rarely a one-person task.
Yeah, you need a team to conquer the dungeon, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Basically, it's a team effort.
Yeah,
so
makes it so much. The teamwork makes the dream work. Say again, sorry.
Who's the one with the armor? With the nice armor?
The armor is it's Marchin from Treasure Hunt.
Yeah, I see. I thought it was Simon.
No, Simon is playing as Simone at the moment. He's playing here as as another mage. His coat is a lot fancier than my coat. He's got a nice red coat on.
Wow,
so it's a pretty good looking coat you've got there, Simon.
So
as we can see, these 3 here are all mages, except for Machin. And if you're looking at the animations that are happening around us, you can see that we're all casting different spells.
Right.
And apparently, Lucy Oakbloom Ninja Farmer here. I assume if that means something.
Yeah, they're actually they're fond of the Legends of Illumia. I think that's quite good
Yeah.
if you're like early players of the Legends of Illumia, right? Because you can get to play with the developers, you can get to play with George, with Marcin even,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. It's an added perk of one thing that happens in Web3 that you don't see elsewhere is the idea of playing together with the people building the games. Like
Yeah,
in
I
traditional
think that,
games, you not jump into an MMO and suddenly have someone that's working on the MMO like
Right.
taking you through the dungeon and stuff.
right. Yeah, I think that's one of the perks of playing in the Web3, right? Because everyone is
Yeah.
actually equal. Even if you're the
Yep.
CEO, you're the developer, you play the same game and
Yeah.
you meet at the same game, right? So, anyways, George, while you are showing us the gameplay, I have some few more questions to ask you. Like,
Okay.
um, of course, this is actually one of the debatable questions at the moment. Like for Web3 games, it's one of the questions like how can we onboard these Web2 players, those players who are in the um, traditional games like on Steam, like on what we, yeah, like you said a while ago, is it Diablo? So,
Yeah.
of course, I know for sure you're interested of attracting people or Web2 people to Web3. So, what are your how can you do it, or what are your plans to onboarding these Web2 gamers to Web3,
One
especially
thing
with
that
kids?
needs to be thought of when bringing the Web 2 users into Web 3 is making sure they can have a full game experience without having to have to interact with the Web 3, right? So if you're bringing Web 2 users into any game and you're instantly trying to convert them into a Web 3 user and making them do all the Web 3 things, you're going to struggle a lot more than, say, if there was an option where they can fully play the game and they have nothing that is forcing them to do Web 3. So I think that is one of the main things that's going to be happening, is the idea of eventually, not right now because it's still beta testing, so it's just not feasible. Eventually, there'll be like other models to bring in the Web 2 users where they don't have to interact with anything to do with the Web 3. They're just playing this game as a fun MMO RPG that they found and they picked up. Along
Right.
with that, from a team that have spent 10 years playing MMORPGs, this is the first time that their game isn't solely aimed at Web 2. So if you've spent the better part of a decade honing your skills to sell games or have games played by Web 2 users, the bigger thing there you need to be thinking about is how to get the Web 3 people on, because you've already proven that you know how to bring Web 2 users into games like this, because it's been your business model for 10 years of making
Yeah,
these
yeah.
games already. So
Right.
I think a lot of people that are overlooking Web 2 companies that move into Web 3 and bring on the strong Web 3 ideals that we all have and why we are in Web 3, they have already mastered user acquisition and stuff like that within the Web 2 base. And Web 3 is the new thing to them. So I think that's one thing that people should be looking out for in some of these games is, yes, it's great to have some of these games built by I've only built a game in Web 3, because they know the Web 3 landscape, they know the Web 3 users. But when you have Web 2 studios that have built for Web 2 previously and are now adopting Web 3, they already have all that experience to bring in on Web 2 users before. So it's not something they need to be learning the same way as if it is a native Web 3 studio that only came about because of the ideals that we have in Web 3.
Right, right. But on your own personal perception, do you think Legends of Lumia is a good startup game for Web 2 players who wants to be onboarded to Web 3?
I would say, look, in the current state, because of the limitations in the gating, which is there just to make beta testing easier and game balancing easier, right now it might be hard to bring Web 2 users in, because you do need to have your NFT to be one of the people that is helping play test the game. But with that idea, it's similar to the principles of web testing a game for Steam, of the early access side of it. So it's not that it's different from how Web 2 models would be doing it, it's just the item you need to own to take part in it. So in its current state, it will be harder to bring Web 2 users in, That's only because of the way it's built out to build the game around the Web3 users. And like we've already mentioned, of playing the games with the people that are building the games, that is something that is native to Web3. So the gating that's there that allows you to do this, great for Web3 users, but because it's just not common or something you see in Web2, it's just harder, in my opinion, to get some Web2 people involved in testing your games, especially if they're not used to seeing games in as such early stages as they are. Because I would suggest that most Web2 users, when they're playing a beta build of a game, that studio already knows that this is maybe 1 or 2 builds away from the final product. I very much doubt Web2 users will be used to playing as raw of a game as Web3 native gamers are. So I think, depending on states of games as well, it's not always beneficial to bring in Web2 users too early into the testing phase. We've seen it already a lot in Steam. Some games launching their early access in Steam as a Web3 game, and then they just get trounced on Steam by the Web2 users because they're just not used to seeing games in that earlier state.
Yeah.
So I think that's one thing that people need to take in mind when they're thinking about how do we bring the Web2 users in.
Right. That's true, actually. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But yeah, actually, I'm looking on the comment section because of you. I think Sniper NFT was interested to play this game. But George, I just want to ask, like, of course, is this game free to play, or do you need to really have the NFT to play the game?
So right now, it's gated access to an NFT. The main reason behind that is it's also a very small number of NFTs currently, but this will be opening up and be playtested by more people, which will be gated again through NFT. But the final hope is not NFT gating. I say this to every game as well, to be honest, not even just Illumia. You should always play or develop to have at least a a free-to-play model where people can enjoy part of your game without having to commit anything. So right now it is gated by the NFTs, but it's not gated because they're gating the full game. It's gated because you don't want too many people testing an MMO when you're trying to balance the in-game economy. Because say if you've got 200 people and suddenly something spikes out of balance and they're all selling it, making lots of gold, that's easy to rectify. If you already had this open as free to play and say you had 10,000 people playing, you've then made that problem of balancing that much exponentially harder than if you had the 10 to 200 testers. So right now it's not free to play, but once it gets closer to the final build, it will have free to play models within it so that everyone is included. So there is that idea of Web3, that inclusivity and making sure everybody can play and do these type of things.
Right. Oh, I see. So we guys heard it, okay? So there's for now it's not free to play, but there's a plan to be for it to be open to the public soon. But yeah, just want to know, George, as well. Like, what is the difference? Like, let's say the free to play is already open. Like, what is the edge of these players who have this NFT versus those players that doesn't have the NFT?
So obviously all of that is still like a work in progress of what is definitely going to be the plan. Because obviously you always have to try, test, adjust, make sure things are working the way it is needing to or attended. But what will be is if you say, I got this sick drop from, sorry, one sec. No one is helping me kill these spiders and I'm about to die. I'm going to run away.
You're losing the health.
So the main thing that's going to be different is what you can do with the stuff you get in game. So you would be able to think of the idea of owning an NFT as a key to the freedom of the asset trading. So if you are doing none of the interactions with the Web3 side, possibly you'll be able to still sell the items in an in-game auction house that has no ties to the Web3 aspect. But the main idea will be that the Web3 people can withdraw these items, take it either to the Illumia marketplace itself or a secondary marketplace and give them that freedom of ownership to sell these items they want to. Whilst a free-to-play player will not have that access until they do upgrade themselves into a Web3 player. Obviously, this is not set in stone of exactly how it's going to play out, because this is still some time down the road yet, probably later towards the end of next year, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. So it is something that will definitely be ironed out and also spoke to about within the community as well, because you want to speak to the people that have been playing this to find out what type of stuff they would like to be exclusive to them as a holder of an NFT, which is basically someone that has believed in your team and invested in your team, compared to what things should be available to those free-to-play players. There needs to be the right balance, that it's fair to the ones that have bought in and bought the NFT, but you don't want to restrict a free-to-play option so much that people just don't enjoy the game and will never convert into that Web3 user. So it's going to be a balance of making sure that, yes, free-to-play players will exist and they will have certain capabilities, but you also need to make sure that the Web3 and the NFT holders have more possibilities just because of the way they're interacting with your ecosystem.
Right. Wow. Oh, for Sniper, if you're asking now, the game is Legends of Illumia. The game is the Legends of Illumia. So check it out. We're having an announcement later about it. Maybe you want to join it as well. So anyways, talking about the plan, the roadmap, George, what is the current roadmap and the plan of Legends of Illumia as of now? Oh, I think you're a little bit choppy.
There we go. I didn't press the button again to allow. I saw the red not glowing. Good thing I didn't get too far into my monologue, and I'm constantly looking at my own camera, so it's fine. I noticed real quick. So with the roadmap and things that you've got to look out for that is upcoming is this year, which obviously only has, less than half a month left, or just over half a month left. There's going to be the release of pets, which is going to be going down to a governance vote. Obviously, Web3 game, options of governance, and allowing to vote on how certain things play out. So that's going to be the first one, is going to be around the pets and also the pet breeding and how that works. The other things that people can be looking forward to, there's updates coming constantly for this game, but I'm going to just touch on the key points, because you don't want to go over every little update of maybe we moved a tree in a dungeon and stuff like that. So these are the major things people need to be looking out for. Is the idea that there is a new class coming that is currently down to a vote. People can see how the vote is going. I believe Archer is currently winning, and the other option was the Berserker. But right now, I think it's still the Archer. I've not actually checked in a minute, but it was still the Archer. I'm actually very keen for if an Archer does come in, because I'm a big Dota and League of Legends player, and I main ADC or carry, so I like doing anything like Archer style. Then after that, coming down to the idea of some more dungeons being released, as well as the item crafting itself. So when I came into this dungeon, we touched on that I could only see one dungeon. But right now there is already 4 dungeons available, and then a world boss available that we can probably talk about a little bit more a bit later on, the dungeons and that world boss. But then there's going to be a 5th dungeon coming in as well, which is, let me just check what the theme was going to be, which is the undead dungeon as well. And I'm pretty certain that the undead dungeon was chose as the next dungeon through another vote as well. I'm sure Simon will pipe up and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the dungeon that is coming next was also decided by the community. I'm so sorry, I am so lost in this game right now. I don't know where all my friends have gone.
Yeah, I think you've lost your mates, man.
Yeah.
I see.
Okay, yeah,
Wow.
I know where I'm going now.
That's a lot of dungeons, to be honest, right?
One thing that
yeah.
I'll say, I'll go into it now as we're speaking on the dungeons, and if you can see my map on the left, you can see I've got quite a far way to run to catch up with everyone. But the dungeons are all themed, but they are all procedurally generated, so the dungeons aren't always going to be the same, which is obviously something that is coming big into the game now, into games in general, is the idea that you don't want each dungeon to always be the same. But we've got multiple themes already. Currently, this is the easiest dungeon, which is the do the forest dungeon. One second, I've got it wrote down specifically.
Oh,
Which
it's
forest
easy.
dungeon, easy. Yeah, this is the easy one that was wrecking me with those spiders.
Right.
This is the easy one. And then this one takes no key. So that's why I could only see one dungeon. I didn't need a key. I didn't need anything specific to get in here. I just walk up to the door and in I come.
Right.
Aside from that, there's also one which is called the Rocky Valley dungeon. And the theme of that, think Indiana Jones. So you've got boulders rolling after you. It's kind of like sun setting, Indiana Jones style, Rocky Valley through caves and stuff like that. So that's one of the other ones that you get access to through keys. The third one is the Spider Zone, which has a green mist. There's lots of spider mobs. Again, this is a more difficult dungeon than the one we're in. Accessed, again, by a key. The fourth one that we've got currently is the Ancient Temple, which has got a maze. It's at dusk. There's lots of pirates, and the final boss is on a pirate ship, ye old scallywag that tries to defeat you, that you get to go in against. So those are the ones that are currently there. Then on top of that, there is the option that maybe I can show you after this dungeon, or the general direction of there is currently already a world boss, which is a weekly raid as well, that is kind of not within the dungeon the same way we got into this one, but more in a different location within the overworld, if you want to call it that.
Right. Wow. So imagine those dungeons prepared for this game or these beta testers, right? So currently, what kind of version are we in at the moment? Are we in the alpha or are we in the beta?
It's called beta. It's one of the cleanest betas or cleaner betas that I've played. But as with people's expectations, they need to manage it more, would be my warning, just to anyone that is a Web3 gaming enthusiast. Because if you say you get to play a beta version of Grand Theft Auto, you get to play a beta version of COD, that beta version will be maybe 1-2 versions max away from what their final release is. Whereas beta versions in Web3 is more truthful to the terminology of, yes, this is a beta, there is bugs, there's things wrong, there's stuff that's going to change. Like right now, you're going to see this text popping up for the damage. I hate this font. I hate it. But it's only like this because they're not working on it because it's in beta. But things like that you wouldn't see if you're beta testing in the mainstream or beta testing AAA. So whilst this is a beta version, people need to manage their expectations of what a beta version really means in terms of performance and polish.
Wow. So while we are playing this game, in just 40 minutes, what level are you in now, George?
Since we've been playing, and bearing in mind I keep stopping to talk and do all my hand movements because I talk with my hands too much, I've got to 3.5 already, just from following these guys around. And I really want to say, I don't think I've hit anything yet with any of my spells. So I'm 3.5 just by following the treasure hunt team around. Let me break this. I think this gives me stuff.
Doing some
I'll break this while they fight they'll fight the big boss over there, that spider, and I'll just fight this crystal that can't hit me back instead.
Right. But George, I think we have also viewers like you said, Web2 players. I think isn't pretty fun of what they call this, pretty fun of beta testing, right? So when do you guys plan to officially launch the game? Oh, your mic is off again, I think.
Officially launch the game. They want early-ish next year. I would say towards the latter half of the first, the latter part of the first half of the year. Yeah, there we go. I've successfully constructed an English sentence. So yeah, a launch that is in a cleaner state within the last, I'd say, 5th or 6th month of next year. I've got down on my notes to be saying early next year, but we know what early next year can mean in any development process. Development is obviously very temperamental on whether or not it lets you stick to your timelines. I'm going to say early next year, but towards the middle of the year will be my answer. Just to give some little cushioning room in case development does what development does.
Yes, of course, we have to expect those little bit of rescheduling, right? But I presume that you guys have a plan to develop or launch it currency token, right? Like a game currency.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, I hate to ask this, but I think, like you told me a while ago, it's for big guys who knows about tokenomics. Can you tell me more about this game currency and what will be its tokenomics? What will be the main focus of this token?
So yeah, I'll be able to talk about them. Obviously, like I am versed in the tokenomics. I just never really speak about any game's tokenomics too much, mainly because I feel it's a different, like, oh my god, I'm getting killed. Oh my, one sec, sorry. Okay, right, well, we're dead. Okay, so I'm going to run back to those while I explain this. Oh, someone else died with me as well, fantastic. So within the tokenomics itself, there are currently 2 tokens, but with the way the game is still in limited access to playing it, there's obviously been limited uses of how the tokens work. The main token that people most likely will have heard of is ELU, which is used for the governance tokens and to do with the asset transfers as well. So like I mentioned, we've got the Archer class coming next, which went down to a governance vote. The voting was based off of people that were holding this Illumia token already. So that's been used within governance. Then EKS itself is going to be the game currency, and that's going to be used for in-game spending and in-game trading as well. Right now, I very much doubt you've seen too much to do with EKS, honestly, only because of the state the game is in and it having most of its use tied to the game play and the game itself. But Illumia is likely to be the one that people have had more exposure to. And right now, the main role that is using is governance choices, because the other things that are happening, like the asset transfer, is obviously a lot lower within this type of testing era for a game.
Right. Wow. So imagine the plan of building the token. So when do you know, or is there a date for this token?
The Alu token is already out at the moment.
Really?
Has been for, I want to say, a year and a half. I think Simon might be able to tell me. Oh, they're telling us we have to run to the boss. Sorry. We're in game, they're telling me I have to run to the boss. So I'm going to listen to my instructions. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to try and help them kill something. So far, I haven't helped them kill anything, but we're running back to the spider that did just kill me. But yeah, the token has been out for a while already. Simon is watching on one of the locations we're streaming to, so he might be giving answers in the chat for that. If not, I can actually ping him a message real quick.
Right.
How long?
Let me look for that message.
I want to say it's been over a year, but I don't know if it's close to 2 years. Yeah, the token is out and should be locatable by people if they want to go looking for it. It is linked on the Illumia website itself, and it will take you to 3 different locations, I believe, currently.
Right.
It might be 3 or it might have changed up to 4.
Oh, I see. Oh, in our YouTube, Sniper is asking, is the project run on UE5? I'm sorry, but I'm not sure about the words, but
So I just got a reply back. So the token has been out for 18 months at the moment. Came out in 2022.
wow.
So people are looking for it. It's already got a lot of history to it, the token, and has been out some time already. So yeah, if people are looking, then it is tradable on Ayubi, Gate, and Radium. And if that question was to do with what engine the game is, oh my god, I'm going to die again. This spider does not care about my health bar. As for what it's built on, it's built within a Unity engine. It was built within Unity. if that's what the question to do with uni something was.
Right, Uni Engine 5. Yeah. So I hope George answered that question. So for the question, actually, for guys who wants to play this game, actually, um, we had a pre-sale before during the YGG Summit event, and actually,
Yep.
we are actually launching a whitelist spots at the moment, and I think George can speak about that. Like, what is the current event that is happening to Legends of Illumia? How will this guy buy the NFT, or how will this guy start, or when should they start to play this game?
Um, if you want to start to play this game just by picking up the NFTs that already exist and the ones we're using, sorry, one sec, they're over here all saying we cannot defeat this boss and dying one after another.
Yeah, maybe you have to focus, right?
That goes down to what your team comp should be when you go into a dungeon. It shouldn't be 3 mages and 1 warrior, because apparently we're just going to keep dying.
Right.
Then to go back to how people can be getting involved with what's going on at the moment. So currently they've partnered with Y3GG, is that how you say it? Or is it
WeGG.
WeGG? Sorry, I always get this wrong. WeGG, okay, cool, yeah. WeGG and Treasure Hunt. Actually, the warrior that was taking us through there that has also died, okay, they've all run off from the boss, is from Treasure Hunt, that's Martin. And they've partnered with WeGG and Treasure Hunt for these things that they're doing at the moment with the current whitelist spots that are currently going on. Next week, there is going to be the minting as well. So there is 2 dates for that, which is the 12th for the whitelist spots and the 13th. Oh my God, I'm going to die if I go that way. And the 13th for the public as well.
Right.
Run away from here. And one thing they're doing within this, which is Treasure Hunt's main part of the role, is when you are entering this or buying one of these new NFTs that are coming out that you can get the whitelist spots for, it also is going to come with a real world prize as well, which is not something that I've commonly seen in the space. I don't know about you. Have you seen real world prizes commonly in the space when you're minting NFTs, Aldrin, or no?
Sorry.
Have you seen real world prizes attached to NFT mintings happening often, or is this something new to you?
I saw it.
It's something new to me, the idea of it. I've not seen other people doing this similar sort of idea. But what's going to be happening is when you mint one of these, you'll also get a gacha box that has got a value in it of up to $69 to $250 of real world items. And then players are going to receive that as well. And on top of that, as we were already speaking about, the idea of an NFT becomes more valuable as it levels up. I'm a mere level 3.5 right now, 3 3/4. I'm not going to sell myself short. 3 3/4 now. When I get to level 10, if I was to get one of these NFTs that were tied to the treasure hunt thing that is currently happening, I would then receive another box as well. So that's something that's very unique and is a kind of retention mechanic as well. That if you are using one of these NFTs to keep leveling, you then are open to more of these opportunities to win these type of prizes. The whole event itself is tied to $1 million worth of real world prizes. And I really feel that they've not been pushing that idea enough and really harping on that. Like, there's a lot of prizes here. People need to be way more aware of how many prizes there are. So that prize pool, that valuates as that. And then its players will need a minimum of 1 NFT to play until obviously the free-to-play model comes along. And then in the future, it's like I mentioned earlier, that separates the free-to-play from the Web3. They need to be holding an NFT to be able to transfer their assets in and out of game, which is going to give them exclusive access also within games to certain areas that aren't going to be available to the free-to-play users. Obviously, like we touched on previously, it will take testing and adjusting to make sure free-to-play players are having a fun experience while they're doing this, but they're also not getting the same experience that someone that holds one of these NFTs is going to be getting. So if you are taking part in this whitelist thing and you're going to take part and get one of these new mints that is coming up, wow, you're going to get some real world prizes for the levels that you're grinding through up until the point that these free players come in as well and they're playing with you. They'll get to level 10 not too much will happen. They'll be level 10. You'll get to level 10, you'll be like, oh, damn, I'm going to get another real world prize because I've managed to grind my way up to level 10.
Right.
So there's these incentives as well and rewards for people that are interacting with the Web3 side of it.
Yeah. So basically, with the level 3, you got additional 2 loot boxes, right?
I need to get to level 10. I'm way off of getting anything additional. Yeah, I'm too bad. And as we saw, I kept dying in that, so I don't know when I'm going to get to level 10.
Maybe if you have the time for focus.
Matching carry me.
Yeah, actually, Ninja Farmer commented on YouTube that we cannot really kill the boss. We cannot kill the boss.
We cannot. It most definitely was killing me over and over again, and all the rest of it.
Yeah, so anyways, George, to wrap this this Discord raid up, I just want to wrap it up with promoting Legends of Illumia and the current situation, that for Sniper NFT and for anyone who is actually interested with Legends of Illumia, like George said a while ago, they're actually having their their minting stage already on December 12th. So there will be 2 parts of the minting stage. The whitelist is on the 12th of December, and the 13th of December will be the public mint, right, George? And during the 12th of December, on the 3 p.m. UTC, right? UTC, it will be the minting of the whitelist bot for Legends of Illumia. So, like George also explained that in collaboration with Treasure Hunt, the good thing about buying this NFT is that you're not only winning or you're not only gaining NFT, you're also gaining real world prizes worth about up to $1 million. George, do you have any idea what is the highest prize, or what is the biggest or the expensive prize?
Let me get Simon to tell you before. I only know the value. Let me see if he can tell me the size. What's the most impressive prize to be won? He's currently dancing. I think that might be him dancing behind me. No, that's not him. He's that one stood over there. So he should be able to give me a good answer. I know that the value in a single box can be as high as $250 worth of stuff. I didn't remember the list of all the stuff it could be.
Right.
I don't know what it is that's going to take it up to that, but Simon is commenting back, just saying, what the most impressive prize to be won? Rolex. That's all he said. One word is Rolex. So I don't know if he's being truthful or if he's messing with me because I'm on the spot right now.
Right. Yeah, actually, the highest prize, the most expensive prize that you may get on the loot box is the Rolex watch. I'm not sure what type of Rolex it is, but it is expensive because it's the prize pool is around $1 million, right? So imagine, guys, by just buying the NFT and try to play it and level it up to level 10. And if you guys level, because once you buy the NFT, you get a welcome loot box already, 1 loot box. Then, of course, if you level it up to level 10, you get additional 9 loot box. So in total, you are getting 10 loot box in total. When can they receive this loot box, George?
When do they actually receive them? I believe there will be a process of sending them out. So I don't think it is as instant as you instantly get to level 10. I think it is then in a cycle of certain people there, and then a load of them get pushed out. But again, this is going to come down to the ease of it happening and the frequency of stuff happening. So like if loads of people are playing and loads of people are getting 10 together, then the dispatching is going to happen more regularly, in my opinion. But this logistics is going to be worked out down the line, and something that's going to be made sure that it gives the user the best experience possible. Because obviously, if you're waiting for a real world prize, the world's a large place and some delivery systems aren't the best. So you need to make sure that when these prizes are going out, they do reach the people. So it could change when it starts happening, just to make sure it's as effective and efficient as possible.
But I think there's like a time span for it, right? Because I think everyone would be waiting for that Rolex watch to come into their house or to their doorstep, right?
I'm asking Simon the difficult question here of what is your timeline for ensuring people get these? to see if he can give me an actual time rather than my my more broad answer.
Right.
But it doesn't look like he's answering me at the moment.
Right. So imagine that,
Yeah,
guys.
Simon is not responding.
Once you're buying the NFT, you're not only buying an NFT, you're not only buying a memory, but also you're getting a real life product or real life experience. Wherein Treasure Hunt is making that enabling it that. So if you guys are actually interested on the whitelist spot, if you want to be considered on the whitelist, try to check out KDArena. They have whitelist spots available, and try to reach out to them, and they can give you the whitelist spot, or you can win them. I'm not sure how will they provide it or give it away, but I think you have to win it in order for you to join. Right?
I've got an
But-
update on the time for you, Aldrin. 14 to 30 days is the expected time to receive your box, between 2 weeks and a month.
Oh, 2 weeks and a month after the 14th day of December.
Yep.
So let's give it a month, right? Because of course,
Yeah,
holidays
yeah.
is coming.
Let's stick with the idea of you'll get it within a month. Let's not go with the lower number. I'm aiming always for the higher numbers, just in case.
Let's go with it because of course it's Christmas season as well. So
true,
Christmas
true.
holidays coming. So yeah, here in the Philippines, they love Christmas holidays, right?
It's going to be wild in the post office.
Especially if that Rolex is there, right? I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that. Especially if they scan it and this is a Rolex watch. I'm pretty sure that even with the embassy or the agency that will handle the customs will really have much time with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, actually, the question here is that what if we have 2 mints? What will happen? Of course, you will get per NFT or per mint. Of course, you will get the loot back. So, like for example, if you got two mints, then it means that you have 20 loot boxes in total, right? Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So when you've obviously leveled all the way through, you end up
Yeah.
with a total of 20. Need to make sure people remember they have to do the hard work of leveling to get
Yeah.
all of them.
You have to defeat the boss first.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to get past that spider, which apparently is very difficult.
Right. That will be difficult actually. But
Yeah.
but of course, with the people who got it from the YGG Summit, you will get additional 9 loot bags already. Okay, so because you already claimed the first one, which is the physical item, right? So yeah. Anyways, do you have any more to say, George, for this for our viewers?
Yeah, I'll do some closing words of I'd say if you guys are interested in playing Illumia and getting involved with everything they're doing, one of the main places to look is obviously always Twitter. Twitter is where you find all your information out for Web3. It's no different with Legend of Illumia. Go to Twitter, check that out. But more importantly, I would say joining the Discord itself, speaking to people that are already playing and have already looked into the game and getting their opinions, their feedback is always one of the best ways to judge if you want to go into a game, is speaking to the people that are playing already. And within Web3 and Illumia, the easiest way to do that is just to hop in the Discord, start speaking to the community members that are already there, and you're likely to find someone that can answer the questions you have. And obviously, still Web3, so if you're pinging questions in there that come too technical, you could end up with like the CEO of the whole game replying to you, which definitely not something you would experience in Web2. So I'd say make sure you check out the Twitter and jump into the Discord if you have any questions and have even the slightest interest in playing this, because I can assure you some of the players will turn that slight interest to a large interest to get you playing.
Right. Yeah. Actually, that's how you get to know the game. Join their socials, right? Like Twitter and Discord. Actually, with Discord,
Yeah.
you can join it there because, like George here told us that this game is a team effort, right? To defeat dungeon. So if you are in a solo play, try to rate the Discord of Legends of Lumia. We'll announce it on our Twitter as well with WGG on. I think George has his own page as well, right? So I think he will also announce it, so that at least you can join there. You can invite George, you can invite Simon, you can invite Marcin to play with you guys and defeat the boss, right? So that at least you can level up because, like we saw it already, George here and the rest of the team have already tried to defeat the boss, but it's kind of hard to play it as well.
No, yeah. Unfortunately, we were distracted. That's my excuse. I was distracted doing this. I don't know what the excuse of the other 3 people playing with me were, but that's my excuse.
Yeah, yeah. Of course, if you will, of course, focus on the game, maybe you might have defeated the boss. But yeah, basically, George, with the team effort, how many guys do you think would suffice to fight with fight with the boss? Like, what is the meaning? I think
2. I would say I originally, when I was first playing this game 13 months ago, I think it was, I would play with one of my streaming partners, Ayana, and it was just me and her, and we would manage to get through the dungeons ourselves, but the 2 of us. But after watching us fail here, I think it was because we had a complementary set of skills. So like what I kept harping on about of not all mages are the same, we've all got different spells. I think if you get 2 people whose spells really complement each other, you should be okay. But to make it easy on yourself, just max out the party. Whenever you can, get as full party, and it's just going to make your life easier.
Right. Yeah, I think that's one of the goals, and that's one of the ways for you to win the game, right? So, yeah, I guess this is actually a pretty good AMA. I think we're gonna have more Discord raids, right? So basically, yeah, I think that's it for now. And I wish we can all see you on the whitelist. And like we said, if you need the whitelist, you can visit KDArena. You can visit the the Discord. You can rate on the Discord and try to get the whitelist. Okay, so yeah, I think that will be all for now. Anything from your side, George? Do you want to add?
No, just a pleasure to come on here. This is always my favorite type of AMAs to do, is the visual ones, especially visual ones where they get to see the game being played, because I'm very good with my words and I'm fantastic at speaking, but nothing is ever going to do the same as them just being able to see the gameplay for themselves. Nothing compares to watching the game with your own eyes. So thanks for having me up here. It's been great fun, and I hope people have enjoyed seeing the exposure of Illumia that I was able to give them.
Right. All right. Here, you guys, here at WG, you get to know more about Legends of Illumia. So stay tuned for more updates. Follow our Twitter, follow our Discord, and go and raid the Legends of Illumia to get to know more about the gameplay and get to raid the bosses or the dungeons with the other players as well. So anyways, guys, I want to thank you all for coming. I want to thank George for joining us for tonight. And thank you for everyone who supported us for tonight's event. So thank you, guys. I want to have you Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye. Cheers.
WXP is our unique XP point that can be used as credit to purchase merchandise on our platform. You can earn WXP by participating in activities such as quests, events, and tournaments on the platform. You can check your task by clicking on your Tasks tab to complete the task and claim a reward. You can check your WXP by clicking on your profile picture at the top right corner. WXP can be used to purchase items on our marketplace at w3gg.io/marketplace. More items will be available in the future. That's not all. Stay tuned for more exciting updates in the future.